Well, hi there. So, welcome to this small analog photography diary, I think, in a way. The plan for today is that I'm going to just simply talk about all the different photographic related stuff that happened to me lately, which was actually quite a number of things, and I'm just going to talk briefly about them. Actually, at least I'm trying to do that. And if someone of you is interested in a specific topic or that kind of stuff that I'm talking about, just write down a comment and I'm going to make a dedicated video about that. So, where do we start? I think we will start with something that happened to me just yesterday or 2 days ago. I think 2 days ago, and that was related to this. So, I, for the first time ever, processed some E6 slide film with a good friend of mine, and we together worked our heads around this stuff, which is actually it's not difficult at all, to be honest. But it was the first time developing E6 for both of us, and the results, which I just simply briefly show it to you. So this is one of the 120 film. It is so amazing, man. Yes. So I absolutely loved the moment when we were just simply standing there side by side, and you took the film out of the developing thingy, and it looks like that. It's just magical, honestly. So, and with that, we actually get quite smoothly to the next topic, which is my Jobo. So we developed the E6 film using my Jobo CPE2 that I use basically to develop all my film, C41 and apparently E6 now. And I also use this Jobo CPE2 to develop my black and white negatives. And the problem was that the motor in my CPE2 died, or basically died. It was close to dying, it started slowing down, and then it completely stopped working. And this is actually something that I heard that a lot of people that use these also Jobo CPE2s have this problem. Apparently, the motor and the CPA2 Plus, which is a little bit later model, has an upgraded motor, which is not so prone to die down, basically. But the motor wasn't completely fried. It still wanted to work a little bit, and if I nudged it a little bit, it started working again, but it was a strange thing. So what I did, I opened the Jobo CP2 up, I took out the motor, took it apart and looked at it, and actually found out what the problem was, cleaned it all out, fixed it up, and just gave it a lot of new grease, and now it works absolutely beautiful again, which is amazing because it was in the middle of a day of developing a lot of film from the good friend of mine. So this from Nico, the slide film that I just shown you briefly is also from Nico. So because he was in Spain for quite a couple of months, and I developed quite a number of rolls of film for him and with him together, which was beautiful. And the Jobo just simply died down in the middle of a film developing day, so I had to fix that. Was not so nice. So that is the topic about this Jobo and about this E6 developing stuff. Let's talk a little bit about, before we start with cameras, let's talk about this Tamron, this very nice, actually. It's quite a nice lens. So this is a Tamron that I gave to Nico, and he used it quite a lot and he enjoyed using it a lot. I owned this before I got my super beautiful 90mm f2 macro for my Olympus OM4. I used this one and I enjoyed it, but it had the problem that the shutter blades were very sticky, and it was actually not on the shutter blades itself, because these were sparkly clean and no grease or sticky substance on there. It was actually in the mechanism around the shutter blades, so I had to open the lens up, take out the aperture, not the shutter mechanism, of course, it's in the camera, the aperture mechanism. So I had to open up the aperture mechanism, and cleaned everything out, and now it is working absolutely beautiful back together. And Nico is keen to getting his hands back on his lens. So that is the topic of that kind of stuff. So what else do we got? Something which might be a little project that I want to do a video about is a camera that nobody is interested in. I think so, because it's nothing special at all. So it's a like you see, it is an old Adox. So it is an Adox Sport, an Adox Sport A1 or 1A, I think. I don't know. It's just simply this camera got to me in a bag of stuff, which basically everything of that was completely trash. And this camera also has a problem because it has quite a serious haze problem underneath the I think underneath the first two lens elements, and I still need to clean that off, but the shutter still works. And the only thing why I got a little bit excited about this camera is that it came with the original reducing mask. So you still are able to shoot this camera in 6x6 with this mask, or in 6x9 without the mask. And this little metal thing is something which basically every time you get a camera like this, don't matter what camera exactly, they never are still in place. So to get one of these is very rare and quite nice. And that's basically the only reason I saw that and was like, oh yeah, I definitely have to save this camera. So otherwise, it's just basically a simple 6x9 folding camera, which and it has a triplet lens, 105 4.5 Steinhell Cassar. So it's a coated lens, so it should be okay. It maybe is not as good as a Color Helia on a Folklander Besser 2, definitely not, but it should produce beautiful images after cleaning it off. And yeah, with this reduced mask, it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just a camera. Nobody cares about this camera, but I sort of like it, I think. So I definitely have to give it some love. But then I think it should take good pictures. On to the next camera, which is actually a very, very excited one. and took me took me quite some time in working with it. Experienced people will already definitely know what this is. It is a Covar 6. Oh, what a beautiful thing. So this camera came to me. This camera came to me some weeks ago, actually, and I bought it off of eBay for around 200 euros, and I thought I made a very, very good deal, and I think it was kind of okay. But when I received it, the camera it came without this super nice grip. This grip makes so much sense for this system, because this is not a lightweight camera, but it is a very good and nice feeling camera. And actually, especially the viewfinder is very, very nice. So I like this one a lot. But this camera came to me without the grip, as I mentioned. I bought this one on eBay separately for 20 euros, which was beautiful. But the lens had a very, very big problem. And the problem was that basically the lens was broken, or at least not working at all, because the shutter was staying open all the time, just like it is at the moment. So normally, if you fire this lens, you depress this little button right here, and then if you twist these lugs, so as you already saw, the blades close. When you close it further, you release the shutter. Yeah, so that's the mechanism. So if you then cock the lens, it will open fully. The problem was that it stayed open all the time, so it did not close at all. And even though you could fire the lens actually, and the speeds seem to sound at least even quite reasonable, but the shutter was not working at all. So I had to take this lens completely apart, and I actually had to do this several times, because obviously I don't know what the hell I'm doing. No, but actually it took me quite some time. I also re-greased the lens, because the focusing felt very dry, not very nice. So I re-greased the lens, fixed the shutter mechanism, which didn't work at all, and now this was working back together. And after all that work, I thought, oh, what a beautiful thing. Now I can shoot with my Covar. Actually, my sister married I think like 2 weeks ago, around that time, and I took this camera with me and bought some Kodak Gold in 120 for the first time. I never shot Kodak Gold in 120, so I bought 2 packages of that film, and was absolutely sure that I could use this beautiful camera. Of course, I shot a test roll of film with that, and then it sort of stopped working again. Not the lens, but actually the problem was that the transporting and film counting mechanism and all of that stuff did not work as they should. Luckily, I still have my Rolleiflex with me, so I was able to take some nice color shots. But I had to take this camera apart once again and cleaned quite a lot of stuff about it, and replaced some foam seals and all of that stuff. But now the camera actually works beautifully. Like really, it really works quite nice now after all this work. So I will test this camera, use this camera some more in the future, and I think that I am going to take some nice pictures with it. But anyway, this is the story of this little Covar. Very, very interesting and beautiful camera system. Very high quality feeling. At least this. So, and the last camera that I want to talk about today, even I could, of course, like you maybe thought so far, will this man ever stop talking? Maybe. I have quite some number of cameras that I could talk about, but a camera which I received just 2 days ago, something like that, came to me in this big case. Knowing people will already knew what will be inside, and of course it is a Kiev 60, or in this case not a 60 but a Kiev 6C, which basically means that the shutter is on the different side. And actually this is something I don't like at all, to be honest. So I got this little Knap Kiev, and it's a 6x6 SLR system. So it's like the Pentagon 6, or yeah, like just like the Covar 6 as well, but obviously in a quite a different format. You know, it looks a little bit different, and it also works quite a bit different. It's more like a very, very big traditional SLR. And actually this camera still works. It has quite a number of problems. It's super dirty. The lens has basically no focusing grease at all. It does not really feel that nice, and the aperture mechanism on the lens does not work, so it's wide open all the time. So I have to fix up the lens. The camera actually seems to be fine, so the shutter works like it should. Obviously I need to replace the mirror foam. I don't have to replace the light seals, I think, because they are made from a very rot resistant kind of felt. I just will clean everything out, and then I think I will be able to shoot with this camera. So basically just a little cleanup job and some service on this 80mm lens. It is an 80mm or is it 90mm? It should be an 80mm, I think. Oh no, might be a 90mm. Well, anyway, so this is the topic of this camera. To be honest, I thought maybe I will just simply use this camera and enjoy this camera a lot, but to be honest, I found it very, very strange that the shutter button is on this side constantly when I'm holding this camera in hand, transporting the film, and my finger is, and even this button right here, which is to switch between 120 and 220 film, and my brain just wants to press the shutter button right here or right here, and it's like, what? What are you doing? Because I'm sort of so used to holding a camera like this and focusing with this hand, and there's no shutter button, so it's a little bit strange. But that's the story of this camera. I think it will look beautiful. I even got the prism finder, which is quite nice, but it's quite bulky and somewhat heavy. But after all the work, I think this will be a very nice and beautiful camera again. Yeah. So this is all the stuff that I can tell you, I think, or most of the stuff that I can tell you about the stuff that I have right here. There is actually, for me personally, a very, very exciting thing, but that thing I will show to you. It is down in my darkroom, so we need to go down into my darkroom to take a look at it, and we will do so just in a couple of minutes. Well, I have to get rid of all these cameras, mate. Well, hi there. So welcome to my darkroom. So the new thing, I guess, it's like the elephant in the room. So I've got a new enlarger. So it's a Basilar 45 MX, and I got this enlarger as a gift from someone that I know only for a short amount of time, but now I already can call him a very nice friend of mine, which is beautiful. It was so crazy and nice that such a beautiful contact developed just around this beautiful machine. And now I've got this one standing in my darkroom. The doors that I worked before with is still here, and I even fixed it to the wall because it sort of sometimes had a little bit of problems with vibration, and to fix it permanently to the wall is help with that tremendously. So if I really need a color enlarger, I can use my doors. Of course, I also can use for multi-grade paper, for example. For me, it's just easier to use a color enlarger than to use some multi-grade filters or color filters with this Basilar, because I don't have filters that are large enough. But so I got this very, very beautiful machine, and let me just tell you, it is a very beautiful enlarger. It works so nice. It's just so, the ease of use is just so nice, and the quality of the parts that you can touch, it's just beautiful. The problem, however, was that the enlarger also had some tiny problems, and that said, so need to connect it to electricity. For example, the problem was that when you want to raise this enlarger up or down, you do it by pressing this little button on the side. Moves up, or moves down, of course. And the problem was that the motor seemed to, I don't know, it felt strange. It was, the sound of it was a little bit strange, and it's sort of binded sometimes, and you need to press at a certain point and it starts to raise up further or go down again. So it was a little bit strange, and I took the motor apart actually completely, but that was a separate thing. So what I did was I completely took apart the chassis of this enlarger, and realized that a lot of the screws are kind of loose and are not, for example, the screws from the backside here that hold in these little guiding rails, basically, for the mechanism to go up and down, like little teeth rails, and they are screwed into the frame from the backside with some screws, and these screws weren't really that tight anymore, which of course meant that the guiding rail could slide around a bit, which is something that you of course do not want. And basically all the screws on the chassis were somewhat loose, so I took everything apart, looked that everything seemed to be kind of straight, and yeah, just got it all back together, and grease a little bit here and there, and then I took apart the motor completely, which was quite not a task that I can recommend, and clean it all off, and sort of thought now it should work beautiful again if I am able to get this freaking motor back together, which was quite a fight, to be honest, because I don't know what I'm doing, but it worked in the end with some kind of interesting soldering, but no one needs to know about that. So yeah, it works beautiful right now. And after all of that, I just took some time to really get it quite good in terms of leveling and all of that stuff. And I used this this enlarger now for quite a number of pictures, and I absolutely love it. The other two things are that I got this focusing loop, which is super nice. Before that, I all the time used this little Patterson that basically everyone who's doing some darkroom work has this, or in his lifetime had one of these, and they work, don't get me wrong, they definitely do work. There's a reason why this focusing loop is produced and sold like unchanged for basically, I don't know, 40 years, 50 years. So it works, definitely, yes, but yeah, I don't know, you need to place it basically every time in the middle of the frame. You can't place it at the corners of the frame, and I didn't really knew how small the area where you can place this nicely was, and so I ended up many times placing it somewhat to the corners, looking through it, like was wondering why can't I see anything? Why can't I work with this thing? It was frustrating to me, and I ended up buying this one right here, which is I think it's the Markner site. It's from a small company in Brooklyn, New York. I think they produced this focusing loop for quite some years. So this is very nice, and I can tell you it is it's so much easier to work with this, because before that, for example, if you needed to focus, it was like all the time you would just like your head right down here, and it was like, oh, where's the focusing? Yeah, right here, and it's just not a comfortable way on to work, to focus. And with this one, I mean, I can stand back here and be like, yeah, I need to focus, and that's it. And it's very easy to work with that stuff. And the last thing that is new in my darkroom is actually that I really needed to get a good way of cutting photo paper, which is a little bit bigger. The only thing that I had before was this thing right here, which of course works, and I even use it to cut my test strips of my photo papers still. So it's still in here, but it is way too small for bigger papers, and it also does not leave the nicest cut. So I got a very old but nice tool, and it's over here. So what I got is an old rotor trim with a Basler branding. It was not connected for me in any way, but so it's just simply a paper cutting machine, and it works beautifully. It's old, it's heavy. Maybe some people think that it does not look good. I don't care. It works just like it should, which is amazing for me. And these are the things that are new in my darkroom. So a new enlarger. Thank you so much, Peter. I love it so much. It's truly amazing for me. So a new enlarger, a very nice new focusing loop, and this nice paper cutting machine. So these are the new things in my darkroom, I think. Yeah, some tiny stuff maybe, but nothing major. All right. So I hope you enjoyed to hear about all the camera related and photographic related stuff that happened in my life recently. Cheers! Well, so we're back again. And I just want to talk a little bit about some information and where you can get them, because actually if you want to have some very good and further information about this super beautiful camera system and camera, so all around the Covar 6, go to the channel Vintage Camera Digest and watch the videos that he has done. Actually, go and watch all of his videos. No, but actually he's doing some amazing work and super informative and nice to watch videos, and he's actually someone that knows what he's talking about. So not like me, of course. So if you want to have any further information about this camera, just go onto his channel and watch his videos about that. And also something which I started somewhat recently is all around the topic of bulk loading, which is, if you don't know anything about bulk loading, also go to the video from Vintage Camera Digest that he's done on his channel. Super informative video, good video about the topic of bulk loading. So in here there's my first ever bulk loaded film, so 30.5 meter. I don't at all know what this should be in feet. A 30 meter roll of Foma 100, which is I bought it from Photo Impacts in Berlin, and they sold it. They sold this 30 meter roll for, I think, like 46 euros, so under 50 euros for a 30 meter roll of film, which makes 18 or 19 36 exposures, 36 exposure film rolls, which makes the roll price of 2.60 euros, which is, it's crazy. So it's very good, and Foma 100 is a super nice film, so you can really use it quite well. So yeah, if you don't know anything about bulk loading, take a look at the video on Vintage Camera Digest and just simply try it. It's amazing. You can save quite a lot of money. Yeah, well, I think that wraps it up for today. Honestly, if you if you were able to stick around until the end, amazing. Maybe you should go to a doctor or something. But anyway, thank you for your time. And obviously, if you want to talk some more about any of these topics, if you are interested in any of these topics that I mentioned today, and some of the stuff that I've shown to you, if you want to know anything about that stuff, just write down a comment, and maybe I will do a dedicated video about some of this stuff, or just simply answer your question in the comments, because I love to talk to you guys about the stuff that I am passionate about and love so much, which is film photography, of course, and all that is related to it. Yeah, so I think that wraps it up quite well. Anyways, the best luck to you all. Cheers.